Hey guys, welcome back to Ray's Create Cards. I'm Ray Henderson, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in beautiful East Tennessee, Morristown, Tennessee. And I am actually filming this today on Wednesday, August the 30th. So, this week was my last week at work. Technically, Tuesday was my final day, but I was also on vacation, so I didn't actually have to work my final day. So, yesterday was spent, getting all the paperwork lined up, making sure I knew everything I needed to know as I end my 19 years at Walmart. Not really that long a time. A good friend of mine just recently retired, and I think she had been there 35 years. I mean, that just blows my mind. And my sister-in-law retired a few months ago, and she had been there, I know, all of 30 years, maybe longer. But anyway, onward and upward. It has just been an eventful week, and I hope you guys don't mind. We are going to do the autumn leaves, stamps, and dies again. I'm kind of waiting on getting into the Christmas cards. Not really eager to push it just yet. Although, as stampers, we all know how time can get away from us, and we do need to allow plenty of time to do Christmas cards, and we will get into them fairly soon. I'm really excited that it's only a few days until you guys can order from the new mini catalog. And at the same time, on September the 6th, we will also be able to reveal the inside of the catalog for those of you who may not be real familiar with Stampin' Up! Or the things that they offer. We'll be able to kind of clue you in maybe a little bit more and get you excited about what we have. All right, the card for today is this one. Look at those leaves. I love it. And let me show you what that comes from. On the 6th, you'll be able to order this pack. It is called Oxidized Copper. And the two colors are copper and Pretty Peacock. However, I see gold in it too. So you get 2 sheets of this. Let me just kind of bring out that partial sheet where I have already been cutting into it. But can you see the copper in the background? And then you have the lighter gold and a lighter version of Pretty Peacock. Isn't that pretty? So you get 2 12 by 12 sheets of that. And then you also get, let me get a hold of one of them here and bring it out. It's just the gold and copper. Isn't that gorgeous? That is gorgeous. And you don't have to just use this for fall or Christmas. I can see anniversary cards and fancy birthday cards and everything made with that. So the only ink we're going to be using today is Pretty Peacock. And I'm just going to lay that to the side, and I'm going to lay these to the sides. And so what I have is a card base, traditional, of Pretty Peacock, 8.5 by 5.5, and of course you're just going to score it at 4 1/4. Then you're also going to need 2 sheets of Very Vanilla. Now last year, Stampin' Up! Came out with the, what was it called, Leaf Fall 3D embossing folder. I was thinking it was retired. It is not. It is in the online exclusives. But I want to show you this in case you missed it last year. Isn't that beautiful? Can I put something behind it to kind of show some of the detail? Nope, that's not going to work. Okay, maybe you can see a little bit of it there. Isn't that pretty? Just a graceful swoop of leaves. And here's something in playing with it that I found out. Now, when I emboss this 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Very Vanilla, in fact, they're both 4 by 5 1/4. This piece will be for the inside of the card, but we have some stamping to do on it first. You can, like I did here, you can absolutely put it in there just like that. Or, because of the way these leaves flow, you could also do it this way. You could put your cardstock in there this way. Let me just kind of give you an idea. You lay that in there, and you would have a blank area up here for a sentiment. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. And I mean, you could position this anywhere in here and do your front card design around the way those leaves are falling. All right, so I was very happy to know that it wasn't retired, because I still had it in my stash and I knew I wanted to use it again this year. So I've already gone ahead and pre-embossed. I kind of have a hard time putting the big boss up here to do any die cutting or embossing, and I lean very heavily on my little mini-me to be able to do that. However, I do not like embossing with the mini-me, and I'm just being honest. Okay, let's go ahead and stamp what I want to put on the inside. And I have got, out of that set, these are 2 leaves. They are joined together. And I'm just going to take, I've got some scratch paper here. Let me get that out, because I want to stamp off. Pretty Peacock is a beautiful color, but it is dark. So can you tell? Hey guys, I use every quadrant of my paper until I can't stamp anymore. So I'm going to stamp once, twice, and then I'm going to come up 3rd generation. Just put something in the corner, in the lower left corner. And we're going to do that one more time. So 1, 2, and 3. Right there in the upper right corner. And then for the inside, I do want to put with a grateful heart. So here we go. Let me move this, kind of get that straight, make sure I'm still in camera. And thank you guys for all of you who wished me well in recovering from that horrible thing, whatever that thing was. The online doctor didn't give it a title or a label or anything. He just said it was viral. Antibiotics couldn't help. And I couldn't help but wonder, it's my understanding adults can get RSV. I do know that whatever it was I had, I cannot imagine an infant or a toddler, any small child dealing with what I had. When I tell you I couldn't breathe, guys. If I even tried to lay back for sleep, I would cough so hard and so deep. And then on top of that, one of the symptoms was diarrhea. So can you imagine how lovely that was too, on top of intense coughing? But I'm pretty well cleared up. I've been faithful to do what the doctor told me to do. And so I've got a little bit of residual congestion from the sinus infection I had, but it's all good. It's all good. All right, so on here, I don't want to glue this down just yet. On here, I wanted to, let me bring my sample card back in. You see that little bit of ribbon that is under that sentiment? Now this sentiment and the die to cut out that sentiment is in the autumn leaves dies, okay? So I have a scrap of Very Vanilla, and I've already cut a piece of the ribbon, and that ribbon comes from, now I just had it laying here. I did. Oh, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. So let me show you what that comes from. You actually get 2 ribbons in this set, and it's called Copper and Natural Ribbon. And so you have almost kind of like a burlap looking ribbon in here. And then the copper ribbon comes with it. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. And I knew I had to have some on this card somehow, some way. And so I've got a length of it here. It's a little bit longer than what I need. And I didn't have my glue dots out. I forgot to get them, but here they are. And so I'm simply going to take this tiny little For All You Do, and I'm going to take some glue dots to attach it to the ribbon. Now on my sample card, I actually used glue, and it's okay, but not it's not as easy. Like I had to lay a block on top of it and then just walk away from it for a little bit until it dried. So let's use, I want to use 2 or 3. I want to make real sure that this does not come off of my ribbon at all. And the glue dots, I feel, are faster and cleaner than trying to use liquid glue. So I should have enough on there now. Did I just bend that? Oh, it's that glue dot and it's pulling it. That's okay. There we go. Now, I want to take my tweezers and get this little thing and lay it right there and press that in. And hopefully I am even from top and bottom. My tweezers got a hold of that. That's okay. I'm going to be cutting that end off. All right. That's not looking too bad. And did I have my ribbon scissors out? No, I didn't. Okay. Here's my ribbon scissors. And I'm simply just going to cut that at the same angle and at the same angle. So there we go. How cute. Now, because of where I put my Very Vanilla, I've got this flat area right here that is really going to help me get that attached. You can do it over the embossing. It's just going to be a little harder. Like I said, I use glue on mine. All right, if I can disengage there. But probably one of the biggest highlights of this past week and gave me so much joy was I was able to fill up, I know there were at least 4 paper pumpkin boxes. I filled them with cards for my mother-in-law and gave them to her. Had to go through my stash and kind of get it cleaned out. And she was just absolutely delighted. So, I know I made her happy, and there were so many cards in there. I know she was going to share some of those, so that was even yet another win. All right, I'm going to tear off my excess and put it over to the side to throw away. I don't think we'll need the glue dots again. Okay. Now, I am going to move this to the side. Let me put my scissors up. I'm going to move my Take Your Pick tool over to the side. Now, I have already took a strip of that beautiful Designer Series paper, and I have taped down 6 of the leaves. And I've taped down 6 because, and I'm kind of second guessing myself, so I've got 5 leaves on here. And the more I got to looking at it after I had it done, I thought, you know, we could actually fill that in with a couple of more leaves and give that a more full look. And that's what we're going to do. Now, I've lost Mini-Me. Here he is. So we are going to very quickly die cut those 6 leaves, and then I will only have to die cut 1 more out of this strip. And this is a 2-inch strip, by the way. So if you're kind of wondering how wide you need it to get all those dies on there, 2 inches. That'll do you. All right, let me make sure I am on my platform as I need to be. And if you're new here, if you've never watched one of my videos before, I learned a long time ago that if you'll take the light gray plate that comes with your little Mini-Me, come on, and use that for your base instead of the white platform, Die cutting will be a breeze. You won't have to offset your plates in order for it to go through real smooth. It's wonderful. All right, I put a lot of tape on here. So there's one, there's two. I'll try not to be too slow about this. And it looks like I have one that is stuck. That's okay, we'll get him out in just a second. And here's this one. Where'd he go? Did I drop one? Maybe I'm accounted for here. Okay, there was another one that's a little stuck. Now, if I was by myself in my craft room and all these were stuck like this, I would actually drop the die on the floor, and that usually will make it pop out. Sometimes I'm a little bit lazy, and I want the easy button. There, that one fell out. I think I shocked some women at one of my classes one time when I did that on an intricate die, and it fell right out. But nevertheless, I think they were kind of startled that I did that, and it doesn't always work. Sometimes. All right, I'll just get my take your pick tool and we'll take that out. But yeah, I mean, you know, I have carpet in my card room only because it used to be a bedroom. And so it's just still in here. I may one of these days do something a little bit different, don't know. But sometimes I may even drop a die 2 or 3 times before it releases its bounty of a die cut. See how easy that separates though? That's why you want to take your pick tool. You got to have some kind of a pokey tool. All right, so there's my 5 leaves. There's my 5 dies. And where did I put the rest of that strip? We just die cut it. Oh, come on. Come on now. Where'd it go? Did I cover it up? What did I do with it? Ah, I see it. I really laid it far afield. So I'm just going to take and tear this off. This is well used. This is now scrap. And let's see. Let's do another maple leaf. We're going to tape that on there. Do I want to use this? I really, you know, I don't know about this gilded metallic paper. I do know the Post-it note tape will not lift that up. It will not. So that's what I'm going to use just to be on the safe side. See how easy that goes through by using that gray plate? Although I'm sketching my paper everywhere. Wonderful. Okay. And RN, if you are listening and watching, the card that you won is on its way to you, and you should have it by Friday. So, I'm looking forward to you receiving that in the mail. Does my heart good to know that that's going to happen. Let's see. There we go. I don't see any gold or metallic on that, so I'm going to call that a win for the Post-it note tape. And once again, we're going to poke this out. And then we will have do we have 7 leaves? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the other 2? Because I had, oh, here's one. I can get a hold of it over here. There's one. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, I do not have 7. Why don't I have 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I am missing a leaf somewhere, somehow, some way. Did it stick to my card? Oh, and that's how I finished off the inside, just like you saw me do. All right, so guess what? I guess I get to do this one more time, and I'm just gonna cut one of these small ones. And I gotta tell you guys, I'm kind of grateful that the gardening season is winding down, because I didn't know how much longer I could juggle everything I was trying to juggle between still working part-time. You know, you've got to tend to a garden every single day. There is no time off for watering or weeding or, you know, I've been having to go out there where the squash bugs and things were having a grand old time, and I simply took a bowl of soapy water and would flick them into it and just drown them, because they can't fly out of it for whatever reason. They can't. So I was using neem oil, which is also an organic, non-toxic way to deal, but I still felt like going out there and flicking them into a bowl was the best way to do it. Yeah, it was. All right, I want to get all my dyes back in here. And they are now safe. Okay, so now we've got that. And let's go ahead and start trying to lay this out. It doesn't have to be like my last card, although I'm looking at my sample card while I'm doing this. I'm kind of laying this out the same way. And I did notice, you see the slit it puts in all these die cuts? And it did it to all of them, and I thought, well, that's kind of cool. Kinda. All right. Let's go here. And then, let me get my tweezers. It's not real thick paper, as you can tell, okay? So if you're not careful, you can bend it. You absolutely can. And I thought I was, see, I know I am missing one of these, because I had both of these dies initially. I'm looking on the floor to see if it flew away somewhere. And y'all watching the video, you may be hollering at me and telling me, oh, it's so-and-so place. But my eyes missed it. I don't see it. It's not stuck to the bottom of my stamp case. Anyway, that's all right. Maybe we're only going to have 6 leaves on here, because I'm not going to put you through yet another one. So if we do 6, and I know traditionally we always preach about doing things in odd numbers, but sometimes it may just work out that this is the way to go. Now I'm going to bring in my Barely Art glue in my fine tip bottle, and we're just going to start laying these down, and then we'll get on to doing the sentiment. And I thought it was kind of funny, occasionally, well, actually rarely will I do 2 sentiments on the outside of a card, but this one actually has 2 sentiments on the outside, and I thought, well, that's kind of a neat difference, right? So when you do apply glue to these, and I think I would recommend liquid glue. Number one, because you're gluing them down to an embossed background, for one thing, okay? And you've got that little slit that got cut in all the leaves. So I'm thinking that if you use like a, oh, I don't know, like tape runner, something like that, it could possibly maybe seep through, and that's not something you want. See there? See how it cut the slits even in all the small veins? So by using liquid glue, I can kind of control where the glue is, and I know it's not going to come through to the top. And I'll lay that one right about there. There's no rhyme or reason to this, guys. Y'all can do this, make your own layouts. Just do what looks good to you as you're doing your dry fit, like we just did. Let's go this way. That might have been how I had it laying there. Go. And one more. And this card is really coming together. So you could do several of these cards by just taking and doing all your die cutting and your card bases, yada yada, all at one time. And there we go. But isn't that beautiful and that very vanilla? Sometimes I just want to design with very vanilla. So far so good, okay? And I think the 6 leaves looks good. Oh, here's the other one. So there it is. Well, now I've kind of took up all my room, but you know what? I'm going to lay him in there anyway. I die cut him. I'm going to use him. So here we go. And just kind of lay him going that way. Long as I've got some different directionality to kind of simulate what leaves actually do when they fall off. Now I'm going to put up my Barely Art glue because I will finish up any gluing I need with my Tombow. Okay. Now, for the sentiment, and I've got a scrap piece here. And do you see that? That was from a card I did last year where I took sponge daubers and did the 2 different colors of ink on there. I don't know if you can see that. And that's a technique too that I love to do every year. But I'm going to turn this scrap like so and retrieve my ink pad. And we are going to stamp I'm grateful. I'm thankful. Well, I'm grateful too. And I'm going to make sure I have plenty of room for that die cut. Just make sure I get all of the letters. Isn't that pretty? I love the fonts in this set. Love it. Very nice, very crisp, whether it's block print or script, either way. And I now have another dirty stamp off screen. I'm cleaning it like I did the others. All right, because I just have such a knack of getting my hands and my fingers and everything in. All right, this is a sentiment die that comes in the autumn leaves. There's actually 3 different ones. That skinny one, this one, and then there's one that's more of a square. So hopefully I'll get this on here straight. And I'm not sure if that might tear my cardstock. So remember how I told you to just simply tape along the sides. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tape down on the sides. And then let me get my paper snips out. And I'm going to have to cut this down just a little bit so it'll go through that mini-me. And I'm still going to have a nice piece right here to save for another use at another time. All right, so we can get rid of that. Put my scissors away. And one more time, we're going to bring in, I need my plates, kind of, sort of. So I hope y'all have been having a good week. I can't believe summer is going away. Although it is nice to kind of have a break from gardening. Probably 2 weeks ago, I pulled up the green bean plants because, I mean, they just weren't doing anything. We had a real heat wave come through here that lasted 2 or 3 weeks. And I honestly was about to tear my hair out trying to keep everything watered. So next, oh, see there? See how that was going to tear that? I am so glad that I tape that to the side. And if you get in the habit of doing that, you won't have to worry about maybe did you de-sticky the washi tape or the mint tape, or, you know, whatever you're using to kind of hold it down with. So see there? Yeah, not good. If that had torn and I had to redo that, I would not be a real happy camper. I mean, I would take it in stride, but still. And now I've got this wonderful piece that I can salvage for another use. All right. Anyway, guys, if y'all are liking these videos, please keep leaving your comments. Please give me a thumbs up. I am trying to plan the lives. I can now do lives. YouTube has verified that I am eligible to do lives. And very quickly, before we go any further, you know I gotta do this. Gotta do this. Here's that other sentiment die. More of the square, which would fit your sentiment. Autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. So you have got a way to cut out these, the little ones, and the more square one, all in this set. And I did run these through on a piece of scrap to see how they looked. And it just imprints the design on there. It's kind of like it embosses them. It doesn't cut them, although it does cut little teeny tiny holes in there. So that gave me a thought for layering another color, maybe back behind. Anyway, very versatile set. I'm very impressed. Now, the other thing that you are going to need is a piece of Pretty Peacock, a mat that is 2.5 by 1.5, and I had it cut, and I had it laying here, and I simply just cut it on my trimmer. Here it is. I just simply cut it on my trimmer, and again, that's 2.5 by 1.5. I'm just going to take and glue this in the middle of it. I'm going to have a little bit bigger border on top and bottom than I do from side to side, but it still, I thought, looked good. But I needed something to kind of bring that up a little bit. And let's go ahead and put this down, hopefully straight. Am I still in camera? I am. All right. Well, let's adjust that just a bit. There we go. And it's still crooked. Oh my goodness. It is officially almost 4:30 in the afternoon here. But it's all good, right? All right, I do want to pop that up on dimensionals. So let me get my, yep, little piece of tape there. So we're going to lay this in. Now, I tend to only use dimensionals on cards where I know I'm going to give it to them in person. However, there are times we want to make those special cards for that special someone, and we want to use dimensionals. So, in that case, you have two options. You can choose to go to the post office and buy what they call non-machinable stamps. And you do have to add this in addition to the regular first class stamp, okay? These are a little over $1 a piece. So it can start to get really pricey if you decide to do that. Or what you may want to do, especially if there's going to be bling on the card like there is on this one, you might choose, before you stick it in the envelope, take you another piece of cardstock, even if it's just cheap cardstock, and lay on top of it before you put it in the envelope. And then that way there, as it's going through the rollers at the post office, if you're not using that extra stamp, then that the bling and stuff is not going to make a hole through the back of your envelope. Does that make sense? So, I mean, you're either going to use another piece of cardstock or you're going to use one of those stamps. Either way, yeah, kind of protect that card and protect your sentiment from being wavy and wrinkled and all that kind of thing. And especially if you're very frugal with your dimensionals. I am not frugal with my dimensionals. I know a lot of people would have probably only put 2 here and 2 here and maybe 1 in the middle. But honestly, I want to make sure that it still looks really good when it gets to the other end. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit and hopefully straight. I don't think that's straight. Let me kind of pick it up and look at it. Is that straight? Nope. It's a little lower on the right-hand side. I haven't pressed down on it, but man, it's still wanting to grab. I'll bring that up a little bit. There we go. Now, for the bling, let me show you. Again, it's in the mini catalog. And I went ahead and took it out of its cellophane jacket so you didn't have to hear that. Aren't these gorgeous? I love them. They are called Blooming Pearls, Garden Green, Gold, Petal Pink, and Pretty Peacock. And out of all the Pretty Peacock bling that we have, I know we have some others, this is my all-time favorite. It is absolutely my all-time favorite. This may, let's see, Garden Green. I'm guessing these are the Garden Green, but can you pick up on the different tones that are in there with that, including, depending on how you use them, you can pick up on just a little hint of gold. And I thought that would look really good with this particular card design. And I'm just going to lay 3 around my sentiment of the little ones. I was going to try to use a big one when I did my sample card, but it was a little much. I thought it was a little much. So there we go. So there we have those 3 on there. And now we can glue that to our card base. I think I'm going to glue the inside piece in first. And we will be done. So, guys, let me know in the comments below if you would like to see lives on Saturdays, or if another day of the week serves you. Now, obviously, regardless of what I pick, or how I choose, what day I choose to do my lives on, I'm not going to be able to please everybody's schedule. I mean, that's just an impossibility, right? However, I am kind of leaning towards Saturdays. And if ever I'm going to be out of town, what I can do is pre-record a video, and that way there, you would still have your Saturday video. It just would not be live. So, all right. And again, I'm using Tombow. I elected to use Tombow because it's a little thicker. Okay. And I've got all this embossing on here, and I want a little bit thicker glue to make sure that I'm going to get good adhesion and that it's not going to come up on me or on the recipient. That would be even worse, right? For your recipient not to get a card that was intact and started falling apart. Okay, there we go. And I may have to take another glue dot. Let's do that. That just doesn't sit well with me. And guys, let's give away this card. So leave your comments below. And once again, and I will give it until at least next Wednesday. And then I will revisit that commentpicker.com that I used. That worked really well, I thought. And we will pick a winner randomly. and I will send you this card. So what do you think, guys? Do you like this? I think it looks better than my original sample card. I think adding just a couple of more leaves really helped that to pop. And let me know in the comments below what you think, guys. All right. Well, I have had a lot of fun coming up with this little card design. It's not anything real fancy, but it sure does have some bling going on. Okay, guys, until we meet again, y'all have a very blessed weekend. Be safe. Know you're loved. And God is good all the time. Bye.